Hi, welcome to another video. This is Mr. Chow from EnglishTuition.org. Now in today's video, we are going to discover the top 5 ways to improve your vocabulary. And if you stay till the end of the video, you will discover what the number 1 method is. So without further ado, let's get started. And we start off with number 5. So first of all, you can get yourself into an English speaking environment, and that will help you to boost your vocab. Now, a lot of times when I teach students, some of them mention that they come from a non-English speaking family background. So as a result, they find themselves at a severe disadvantage. So I think that's okay, right? Because that's something that's not within our control. But what can we do, right, to deal with that and to get around it so that we can improve our English and pick up new words? So here are some examples, right? For example, if you sign up for an English tuition class, you'll find yourself surrounded by English speaking tutors, English speaking classmates, right? And then you will naturally pick up the new words. You can join English book club if it's available around you, right? Or you are into online activities, you can join a predominantly speaking English forum or Facebook page or whatever, right? So just surround yourself, okay, and put yourself in that situation where you are more advantaged instead of being at a severe disadvantage, right? So the idea is to expose yourself to the language so that you can pick up the vocabulary. So think about it, right? If you wish to interact and communicate well with the people around you in the same group, in the same forum, you will have to find the motivation somehow, right, to improve your vocabulary. And a lot of times, right, just by talking to the people around you, you are going to pick up new words. Let's move on to the number 4 method. I know this sounds cliche, right? Many people will say reading, but note that reading does not automatically lead to improved vocabulary. The reason why is that a lot of students just read for fun, right? So they do not have the intent to learn the new words. So what they do is they read the story, they look at the graphics, they look at the comics, the illustrations, they have a good laugh, and as a result, they get some entertainment value out of the books, right? But they do not learn the new words. So reading only helps to build your vocabulary if you're constantly seeking the meaning of the words that you are unfamiliar with, right? We'll talk more about this later in the video. So what you need to do is to pick up the words from the books that you read, search for their meanings, and add them to your vocabulary journal. What is that all about? What is a vocabulary journal? Okay, we will talk more about this in the next slide. So what you want to try and do is to, once you have the words in your journal, you want to try to revisit these words every now and then and use them regularly so that you can remember them. All right. So with that said, let's move on to number 3. Now, so what is this personal vocabulary journal that I'm talking about? Now, if you really want to boost your vocab, okay, it is very common for some of my best students to have a personal vocab journal. So this could be just an exercise book, right? A4 or A5, right? Small exercise book where you just jot down new words or interesting words that you've come across. Now note that you have not truly learned a word until you learn how to use it in the appropriate context. So just looking at the spelling and say, I know how to spell the word, I know how to pronounce the word, that does not mean that you have learned the word. So what you need to do is to write down in the personal vocab journal not only the spelling but also some example sentences if required, right? Because this will help you to remember the context and also the spelling and the word itself. All right. So with that, let's move on to number 2. All right, we are closing in on number 1. Okay. Now, the number 2 best method to boost vocab is to learn from vocabulary or word list. Now, this method is especially useful if you have a good memory. Now, of course, granted, it's not the most interesting method of picking up the new words, right? It's definitely more interesting if you're just reading a story or a news article and you are just engaged with the story and then you pick up the new words. That's a better way of learning. But if you want a faster way of learning, then vocab list will work best for you, right? Now, so for example, right, if you pick up new book, right, and you're reading some essays, some compositions, sometimes there are glossary lists at the back of the books, and one can simply just learn from the list, right? So, but a lot of students just read, the essays or the compositions or the short stories, and they don't realize that there's a glossary list at the back of the book. Sometimes the new words are listed at the bottom, right? So that will make it easier for students to pick up the new words. So what is a glossary list? It is just a list of vocab, right? Usually of the more advanced words, right? So that is the perfect opportunity for students to just go and learn and pick up these advanced words, and they will surely see a huge improvement in their vocabulary, all right? Now we're coming to the number one method. So what is it, all right? It is to develop the habit, and this is very, very important, of searching for the meanings of unfamiliar words. Now, just do a reflection, right? When you come across an unfamiliar word, what do you usually do? So most of us will usually just brush it off, or we just ignore it, we just skip it, and we never condition ourselves to pick up the meaning of the new words, right? So the habit itself is very important, okay? So it doesn't take you a lot of time, right? For example, every time you encounter a new word, just whip up your phone and search for its meanings. As simple as that. When I was growing up, actually, right, we did not have access to the internet, we did not have handphones, so we have to walk around with a pocket dictionary, right? So in the event that we are reading or we are studying a textbook or something, and then we come across a new word, right, or we are watching TV, right, and then we see a subtitle and a new word pops up, we just have to refer to the dictionary, right? But nowadays, because of technology, students have this convenience, right, of just whipping up their phone and then searching for its meaning. But yet most students are not doing that, right? They're probably on use their phones for other purposes, like watching TikTok videos and chatting with friends and playing games and other things, right? So you can use your phone to help you improve your vocabulary, okay? So oftentimes, right, you may find that if you read frequently enough, you may encounter the same words over and over again, and that's okay, right? Because repetition will help you to remember, repetition will help you to master the words, right? So in the first exposure, second exposure to certain words, you may not understand it fully, right? But if you come across it enough times, you're persistent enough, right? And you just stick to the habit of reading and picking up the habits of searching for the meanings, you will learn the new words, okay? So before we come to the end of the video, I have a bonus tip for you, right? So what you need to do if you are really truly interested in improving your vocab for whatever reason, right? For me, okay, this video goes out to most of my students. So if you're interested in improving your vocab for academic reasons, what you need to do right now is to simply immerse yourself in the world of English, okay? So it doesn't have to be stressful and doesn't have to be tedious. So if you're walking around outside, just read all the English banners and all the posters that you come across. You can read, you're shopping, you can read the fine prints on cereal boxes, right? They are printed in English. Watch your favorite movies or comedies, right? Especially during the school holidays. And then make sure when you encounter unfamiliar words, refer to the number one method, which is what? Which is to develop the habit of searching for the meanings of the word. Now, if you have the personal journal, if you don't want to have the physical copy of an exercise book that's difficult to bring around, you can always copy and paste some of the new words and just put it down in your app, right? You can just download a note app or something, right? So we are living in the age of technology, so you can leverage on that technology to help boost your vocabulary, okay? And if you're doing that, you will find that your vocabulary will improve significantly faster. All right. So with that said, have fun with learning your vocabulary. And if you're Singaporean interested in signing up for English tuition, please visit tuition.org for more details. Right. For you're taking PSLE, O levels, all the details are there. So with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye.